welcome back to the channel. So today we are here for part 2 of our Boardman build. So the idea behind this project was to find a bike that was at end of life, strip it, rebuild it and put it back out there for somebody else to enjoy. Now when I say end of life, I mean a bike that has been abused and used and that other people feel isn't worth saving. Now bikes are all worth saving. So I bought this, it was £50, and I'm going to go through the list of the costs because the idea of this is to make a profit at the end to go into the next project. So I will go through the costs at the end of the video, and we are now ready to start rebuilding. So everything's been cleaned and away we go. Okay, so we've got a new set of headset bearings, and just to show you the difference, this is an old bearing. As you can see, it's rotted away and all the ball bearings have gone. This is a new one. This was this. Yeah. Feels so much nicer than it did. Oh yes. Now before you say anything, yes, the forks and the stem, they're not straight. I've just put them on at the moment. Let's not get into that. I'll sort that out later. Okay, so the next thing needed to get this looking like a bike is the seat. Now I believe in the first video I said I didn't know if I was going to be changing this or not, because as you can see it's ripped slightly, black and yellow. And black and yellow isn't a very popular paint job. Plus it's a Boardman seat, it's a Boardman bike, it all goes together. But I decided that it needed a new seat. So I found this. Facebook Marketplace bargain at £10. I believe it's a Carrera seat, but it's black and yellow. Just as good. And for £10 I couldn't say no. So if it's £10 on a saddle and it gets me another £20 for sale, doing it. Next on, crankset. Now this is an FSA crankset and it's still fairly decent. The teeth haven't shark toothed yet, so they haven't worn. There's still miles of life left in it, and I didn't want to replace it because there was no need. Its crank is still working really nicely. It's still smooth, it's all greased up. I was going to strip and rebuild the pedals because they're half flat, half clips. They are looking a bit manky because they're a bit rusty, but for the time I would have put into them, to the return I'd have got back, it's not really worth it. They work with my shoes, so I didn't see the need to. So we've cleaned them up and we're going to chuck them back on. Cranks it on. And at the moment, everything just seems to work really nicely. Now the headset bearings are a little tighter than I expected, but because they are brand new and the older bearings were old and worn out, there was a lot of slop in the headset. I've also tightened it up probably a little bit too much, so I'm just going to loosen it. But it's nice and smooth and it's good. I'm happy with that. There we go, almost one bike complete. All we have to do now is get all the controls on the front and run them through the bike. But other than that, it's almost there. Now, if you're ever rebuilding your bike and you're a bit concerned that you want your brake caliper going on and it might be skewed, or you might get a bit of brake rub because you think your caliper's not square, there is a very easy way of making sure it's square. So what I've done is your two caliper bolts that hold it on there, you can see with my fingers, the caliper, you might just be able to hear it, is loose. Keep that loose, spin the wheel, pull the brake, and with the brake on, you tighten these two bolts, and that should ensure that your caliper is hopefully centered on the brake disc. Now, you don't have to spin the wheel, it just looks good on camera. Okay, onto one of very many important new parts. So, if you haven't seen the first video, these, look at them, are what come off. Now you can see all the plastic's broken, that's still got its window on, but even worse is that movement there, just there, that's the play in the lever. When you hit the stop there, that's when you change gear. That is solid. That moves, but it doesn't change gear, that one. This one, see if I can show you. So that does change gear, as you would expect it to, but that doesn't. Oh, I freed it. I've just freed it up. Yeah, it's working, but I've replaced it anyway. Down gear. On camera, I've just fixed it. I've literally just fixed it. I mean, look. That wasn't working when I took it apart. Oh well, I've got a new one. And just for this one as well, so you can see. Nothing. So I've got two brand new ones. Now we are getting onto the home stretch of getting the gears and the grips and getting it finished, but I got my drill. So you're probably wondering what I'm doing with the drill, a couple of screws. Well, in the first video, I said that this has been so badly treated that the ends of the handlebars have been scuffed up and the plastic caps on the end of the grips had been pushed into the handlebar. So I've got some screws, got a drill. I'm going to drill the screw into the plastic, pull it out. I don't need these plastic clips or plastic covers because my new grips, and I'll show you them, will cover the end of the bar, so don't need to worry about that. I'll show you it this way. And there you go. That's simple. Okay, just to recap from the first video, these are what come off. I mean, just look at them. They are well worn. I mean, at points the grip's gone through to the plastic. I mean, look at that. Do you know what we're doing with these? Yank. Yank. And these are the brand new ones. So these are ergonomic grips. The idea is that when you put your hand on it, you put your little bit of weight on that so your wrist isn't constantly slipping. They are by West Biking. Never used West Biking before. I've heard good things on certain bike groups. I thought, you know what, let's give them a go. They seem to be fairly decent quality, so there we are. Right, now on to one of the bits I've been really looking forward to. Would it be one of my builds without a little personalisation? No. You saw my shopper build. Again, I'm pointing to it. I don't know why I point to it. You can't see it. I'm hoping you saw my shopper build and how personalised that was. Granted, it's my bike, but so a bit of personalisation on this one. Yeah, we've gone for the yellow Jaguar to match the yellow on this bike, and I think that's a really good match. I was going to go with the black, keep it standard. Everyone goes black, everyone goes standard. I thought, if I want this to stand out on the selling pages, let me put a little bit of personalisation into it, a little bit of colour. Hopefully, it'll show that it's been looked after by someone who cares about bikes, because that's why we're here. And people will... Bastard. Sorry about that. My gimbal has just given up the ghost and failed on me. I'm not going to cut that out because why? It's funny. I was just standing here talking and all of a sudden flop down. So we've got some yellow Jaguar just to hopefully make this stand out a little bit more. Right, let's get some air in them tyres. Okay, one last final job. You might just be able to see it. You need to put the ferrule, or ferrule, whatever you want to say, the final one on the rear mech. Stop you cutting your leg open when you're changing gear. Now to do this, two tools. Now you might think, well, you got snips, you got pliers. How are you going to crimp them up? Well, snips, quite obviously, cut the wire. You might just be able to see this on an old pair of pliers. See that? So where the cutting tips are, I've ground them down, so they're no longer cut, but there is just enough gap there. Let me just get them closer. There you go. So you can crimp the ferrule with a standard set of pliers. These are old, never going to use them again. They are now my crimping tools for ferrules. Good little workshop tip there. And there you have it. Project bike number 2 finished. We've brought a bike back from, I was going to say the dead. It wasn't back from the dead. It could still be used, but there was no gears. The headset bearings were shot and the grips were shot. The levers were shot. All of the cables were shot. So yeah. There you go. Oh. We've got a hell of a lot of yellow yellow sheath left. So I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with that. I'll come up with a use for it. So there we go. Boom. Number 2. Now, I don't care what people think. I like color-coded gear cables. I think they help give a bike a bit of personality. Hopefully at this point you'll have seen my shopper bike, so episode 4, where I've built it up and you saw the pink cables because it had pink wheels. If this is a shock to you now, go back and watch the video. Hopefully there will be a link probably there or there about going about and watching Project Shopper. That was an amazing bike, so much fun. But now Project Boardman done. One last thing to do, give it a ride. Okay, so we're back in the workshop. We've just got back from our ride of Project Boardman, and oh my god, it rides really nice. I do like this bike. I could do with having wider handlebars on it, but that's if it was my bike. It's not. The whole point of this was to sell it on. Anyway, let's get into the important parts. The whole reason we were doing this was to bring a bike back from the brink and to sell it on for a profit. So where do we stand on the finances for this bike? Okay. So where we currently are, so the bike cost us £50. We've put a newer seat on it because the old one was ripped. We've changed the headset bearings. We've put brand new jockey wheels on because the rear ones, they had no gears on them. They were circular. We've put brand new shifters on, as I've shown you, because the old ones were trash. We've put brand new grips on it because the old grips was essentially duct tape. And we've put new gear cables on because, as you can see, they're yellow. So where does that stand us? What does the bike actually owe us? For those of you who can do quick maths, the bike owes us a whopping £104.86. Now, when I started building this, I had a budget that I set out for myself. I could have spent more, but I didn't want to. I had a budget of no more than £100 on this bike to get it back to riding standard. Of it, £104.86. I don't think that's bad at all. I would have come under budget had I not bought the seat last week. But as I started building it up, I looked at the seat. It was a bit ripped. I thought, no, it needed a new seat on it. After doing all this work, washing it, sorting all the bearings out, I couldn't sell it with a ripped seat. So the seat put me over budget, but we're only over budget by £4. I think I can sell this for 150. I'm quite confident I can sell this for 150. So it's going up for sale now, and we'll see what comes of it. Let's find out. I'm currently recording this before it's up for sale, so the next part of the video will be what it's sold for and the conclusion of the video. So let's find out. Okay, quick update on the Boardman. So it's been a couple of weeks since I made the video and put it up for sale. It's been about 3 weeks. I didn't want to release the video without an update on it. Sorry, that's me just sliding a table behind me. So when I finished it, took it for a ride, sort of reassessed it, thought, you know what, probably get more than 150 for it. So being cheeky, I put it up for £200 on Facebook Marketplace. I've had quite a lot of interest, and I've agreed to deal with someone who should be coming round this afternoon to hopefully buy it. They sound very interested. They've asked all the right questions, obviously give the right answers, and we've agreed a deal at £175. So if that works out, and I'm more than confident it will, that will be £70 profit on Project Boardman. Bike cost me 50. I put £54.86 of parts on it and selling it for 175. So quid's in, and project turned out better than I could have ever imagined. So if you're on the fence about giving a bike project a go for it. I'm an idiot and I did it. Okay, so thank you for watching another great video. So we've saved this bike from the brink of death, we've rebuilt it, we've sold it, and well, yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. I really enjoyed making this video, actually. It was great fun. So thank you for watching. I hope you have a good week, weekend, evening, or whatever it is when you're watching this. Thank you for joining us. I hope you like the content and you will click subscribe and follow us. And if you do subscribe, please remember to hit that notification bell so you get notified when we release a new video. We've got loads planned for the summer, proper bike rides out. I've got more projects planned. In fact, there's one just here that I'm about to start building. So thank you.